Sanbonan. Ninja. Ausweg. Well, good evening. Thank you, Marcia. For all of us who work on the UNETSA program and in the Atlantics team, we really appreciate your leadership and your deep belief in what we're doing, and as well as your support. So thank you very much. Last night at dinner, Christine said to me, Kosi, you seem to have warmed up to this program. So I looked at her and I smiled and I said, actually, I was saying this to myself, I didn't say it to her. I said, actually, I'm fired up because that's how I feel. But what Christine was referring to, I think, was when I started at Atlantic in January this year. Zola, Gerald, and Christine sat me down and they explained the program. And they said to me, so which of our areas would you really like to focus in? And I said, oh yeah, everything, as long as it's not nursing. Now, at that time, I was thinking back to 20 years ago when I was a nurse and I was training, and I thought, not nursing. Within the first month, however, I began to really warm up to the program. And why? I realized, as I was looking at what Atlantic was planning, that there was real potential to make a difference. Why do I feel like crying? I realized that there was potential to make a change. My work all the years in the health field has been about making a difference, making a change. And though that work really had very little, it was tangentially linked to nursing. It was in the women's health field, and it was making a difference in that field. So I began to see the potential within the UNETSA program and the nursing program at large within Atlantic, that there was really room to dream. And when Vicky joined and we started talking, the dream grew even bigger because Vicky is also a dreamer. So soon after she began working, I remember reading an editorial that she wrote for some journal that had a title like, Do Not Remember, but I do remember the subtitle, and it was A Chance to Dream. And I thought, well, I've got the right person next to me. I've got a team worker next to me. I'm just so excited about this program. So right through this program, as we've been working with the various people in this room, we've been talking about dreaming, making a difference, making sure that there's change. Now, when you speak to anybody in South Africa about nursing, there's one word that really rolls out of people's lips without them even thinking, and it's crisis. There's a crisis within nursing. So what we see as Atlantic is that there's potential for us to impact on that crisis. There's a potential for us to make a difference. So I want to just talk very briefly then about what the process was really about, so that you get a clearer sense. I know that Sheila began to talk about this, but just to get the various steps that were involved in the process. In February this year, we had an orientation workshop here in Cape Town. And then at that event, people had to then go away and develop concept papers. The deadline was in March. After that, we selected the finalists. Then we had site visits. And if there was enough time, there would be stories that you'll be hearing that are just so fascinating about the value of those site visits for the people who were involved in the process. And then this happened, the site visits took place in June and July, and then people developed the various proposals, and then there was another round of site visits, and then in the last stage, of course, was selecting the finalists, and that's why we're here today. And I wouldn't really like to belabor the point by talking to you about the various criteria, the methodology at various stages. All I want to say is that the process was systematic, it was comprehensive, It was intense. It used a developmental strategy. And I think the reason we got to where we are is thanks to the support from Inyatelo and the thinking there that people were really engaged in the process that got us where we are. And there was a lot of movement and growth. I mean, you don't spend that much time and not come up with something that's real. So as we celebrate the end of the stage, in this process, we really need to keep it in our minds that we are celebrating change. We are celebrating change in many areas, in our consciousness about the role of nurses. We're celebrating change within the nursing training, research, and all those areas. And hopefully, eventually, it will be change for the better on the care that nurses provide. Tonight, we embrace change, celebrating the UNETSA awardees who are committed to transforming nursing education, training, and scholarship. And most of them are seated at that table at the center there, in case you hadn't noticed. And we do this because for too long, we have not encouraged nurses to be leaders. When we really desperately need them, UNETSA is about changing that. And it makes sense then for us at Atlantic to put resources into that, because making a difference is about also putting resources into it. So we believe that today marks a turning point for nurses in South Africa, with Atlantic's support of 70 million rand over 4 years for the UNETSA program. We are going to witness nurses become leaders in their own profession and in the healthcare system at large. This program is meant to unleash the energy of nurse educators and researchers and allow them time to think and act in the best interests of their students, of their patients, and I want to underline, of themselves. When a nurse acts on her own behalf to improve her own status, we know that she will improve the care that she delivers, or the care that she gives in teaching others to deliver the care. So we really have a lot of expectations for the UNETSA awardees, and I'd really like to thank the awardee institutions who are represented today, and I just want to say in front of everybody here that we all know how hard you worked. People are talking about the sleepless nights and they can't even count them anymore. But we know that you've worked very, very hard to transform nursing education and training in South Africa with the ideas that you're generating, that you generated through the application process, and we're looking forward to watching you light the fire for nursing in South Africa in the coming years. I'd like to end by reading to you a poem that captures the spirit that we all shared during the process that I outlined earlier. Hold fast to dreams, for if dreams die, life is a broken-winged bird that cannot fly. Hold fast to dreams, for if dreams go, life is a barren field frozen with snow. Thank you.